this 11th initiation is, let's say, a step closer to your true self, a step closer to the most natural self, your most natural self. So the light of full consciousness here from this 11th initiation is the light is shining clear, and it's shining clear just as if you have polished your diamond. When we're doing this purification and self-inquiry and surrendering our miseries and surrendering our pains and surrendering our limitations and all of this and self-investigation, we're polishing our inner diamond, so to speak. And in the 11th initiation, in the 11th level of this consciousness, full consciousness, your true self is seen. Is seen because this diamond, or else how I experienced it myself, is that the glass from which I perceived the world or the worlds or any level, it has been always perceived through a glass. Now that glass has been painted, and we discussed this as well in our previous meetings, when we discussed the painting of color and form and shape. And the painting itself is what hides the true nature. So the painting, in a way, when we are immersed in the painting or distracted by the painting blocks the true essence. Yeah. So in other words, the experiences of the happenings of life block the actual true essence of who we are behind that painting. So here, the painting is totally cleared off. Yeah, it's totally cleared. Totally. The diamond has been polished. Thus, you are able to see, through your awareness. You are able to see through. You are able to see through because here is now clarity. So it is clarity of seeing. That's what consciousness brings in us. The ability to see. And what does that mean, ability to see? Is all those pockets of unconsciousness and all those areas which were blind spots, they start to become illuminated because of the perforation of the light of consciousness becoming ever so stronger. And the light of awareness, it perforates. And the perforation itself is this purification and cleansing of this glass, which in the past levels of consciousness, it's all painted in color, in form, in identification, misidentifications of who we think we are, and that becomes the obstruction. So I'm just weaving through here back and forth just to bring a better understanding. So this 11th state of our consciousness is, of course, a beautiful state. It's a transitional state as well. Remember, all these levels, They are all happening within our full consciousness. Thus, they are relative. They are relative, and they're not the absolute consciousness, the one consciousness. Thus, it's a transitional state. But of course, this is it's clean, it's pure, it's bright, it's light. It's the glass is clean. The glass is clean, but you're still looking from behind the glass. That is the only difference. And so this glass is, although it can be quite thin, so to speak, there is still a sense of separation. There is still a fragment of our totality, of our being. That's what that glass signifies. The sense of separation, which is actually the core wound of humanity. It is the core wound, whether for one person or another, the wound may seem to be different, may seem to have a different challenge, may seem to have, a unique experience, which is true as well. But when you really go deep into this 11th state of our consciousness, we come to realize that every single human being on earth suffers from this core wound, which is the wound of the separation from our true being. This is it. This is it. It is. We are born with it, and who knows how many lifetimes we have lived with this pain or with this sense of separation, and this deep inner strive and this deep inner fire or spiritual fire or inner search is actually a great thing to have, because no matter how deep down humanity has went in the most darkness of the dark ages of our history, there has still been a fraction of a spark of the light, which has been always here. And that is, as we sense that, it's the search, a search to something. Okay, maybe, people at first search, to become the best version of themselves to achieve a job. But it's the same search to find fulfillment, isn't it? But then it shifts to a higher vibration, for example, and maybe that surge, like the deep sense of I am separate, it goes into, okay, maybe now it's time to search and explore the world, so to speak. So then it changes its form, and it becomes a search to find freedom in the world out there. And we start to travel and live in other places, and however that form becomes. But deep down, it's the same search. Then that same search or strive or want, desire, it shifts, it becomes on a higher vibration, and maybe here at some point a person will start to look inwards, isn't it? Or we start to become more interested in some spirituality, maybe. So the search continues, but instead of going outward, it starts going inward. So the same strive, the same substance in a way, or texture of I'm not complete, isn't it? That's what search is. I am not complete. there's some kind of something missing. So that search within continues, to have its own, momentum, and this inner search takes one, according to our dedication and willingness, takes one to all these levels of consciousness, through all these planes of existence. It takes us to explore the whole universe inside of us. And along the way, it helps us to find ourselves, heal ourselves, restore ourselves. So it's a beautiful exploration of getting to know ourselves. Yes, these fragments, they start to unify. These unwanted wounds, we start to bring them and heal them and love them and have compassion and, in a way, emulsify and heal and become. It's like becoming more whole, more total, more real, more natural, unwinding all the conditionings into an unconditional way of being, which is a natural state of being. So it's just to recognize that initial force, that this force, in a way, it kind of guides us back to ourselves. And this force of searching disappears only once we break through that glass. Once the glass, that thin layer, which is crystal clear, when that glass breaks, then we truly become one. We truly become one. The search in that moment disappears for good. For good. Now, of course, this can be experienced in different ways as well. But I'm sharing with you as well my direct experience, how this was for me directly.